new nation takes its first careful steps. The war is over. The Constitution is in place. Now comes the harder work of making a government that actually works. Welcome to History in Decades. I'm Jim Rand, your AI host, and today we're walking through the years 1790 to 1800, the decade when the United States stopped being an experiment and started becoming a country. In 1790, the first federal census counted nearly 4 million people. Rhode Island, the last of the original 13 states, finally ratified the Constitution. George Washington was already in his second year as president. Alexander Hamilton, as Secretary of the Treasury, pushed a bold plan. The federal government would assume the state's war debts and create a national bank. The idea stirred deep argument. Some saw it as necessary order. Others saw a dangerous concentration of power. That same year, Congress passed the Residence Act, choosing a site on the Potomac River for a permanent capital. The new federal city would later be called Washington. In 1791, the Bill of Rights was officially ratified, adding 10 amendments that protected basic liberties. The framework was taking shape. But frameworks are tested by real life. In western Pennsylvania, farmers who turned their grain into whiskey faced a new federal excise tax. They saw it as unfair and distant. In 1794, the protest turned into the Whiskey Rebellion. Washington did something no previous American leader had done on this scale. He called out the militia and rode toward the trouble himself. The rebellion collapsed. The point was made. The new government could enforce its laws. Political parties began to form more clearly. Hamilton's supporters became known as Federalists. Jefferson and Madison's supporters organized as Democratic Republicans. The rivalry was sharp, and it shaped nearly every debate of the decade. Overseas, the French Revolution turned violent. Britain and France were at war. Washington issued a neutrality proclamation in 1793, trying to keep the young republic out of European fights. In 1795, the Jay Treaty with Britain settled remaining issues from the Revolution and avoided another war, though many Americans hated the terms. Trade continued, and the country stayed out of the larger conflict for a time. By the late 1790s, tension with France grew. French ships interfered with American trade. The XYZ affair revealed French demands for bribes before negotiations could even begin. An undeclared naval war, the Quasi-War, followed. What happened next would test whether the new government could protect both order and liberty at the same time.
Hey everyone, if you're enjoying these deep dives into ancient history, I think you'll love our companion series. The Odyssey, short and engaging retellings, a full vivid retelling of Homer's epic, one book at a time. Join us for dramatic storytelling, legendary adventures, and the ultimate tale of homecoming. The link is right there in the show notes. The Odyssey, short and engaging retellings. Go check it out.
Congress passed the Alien and Sedition Acts in 1798, giving the government new powers over immigrants and speech. Critics, including Jefferson and Madison, saw the laws as dangerous overreach. The Kentucky and Virginia resolutions argued that states could judge the constitutionality of federal acts. The argument over power and liberty was live and unresolved. In December 1799, George Washington died at Mount Vernon. The nation mourned. He had held the center through the first hard years. In 1800, the presidential election produced a tie between Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr. After weeks of tension in the House of Representatives, Jefferson was chosen. Power passed from one party to another without violence. That peaceful transfer was itself a quiet achievement. Around the world, the same decade saw the rise of Napoleon in France and continued upheaval in Europe. For Americans, the focus stayed closer to home, building institutions, settling Western lands, and learning how to argue without breaking the system they had just created. Notable figures of the decade. George Washington remained the steady center until his death in 1799. Alexander Hamilton drove the financial system that gave the new government real capacity. Thomas Jefferson shaped the opposition and then won the presidency in 1800. John Adams held the office through the difficult Quasi-War years and accepted the loss of power when the votes went against him. Among the births of the decade, John Tyler was born in 1790 and would later become president. Sam Houston, born in 1793, would one day lead Texas. The generation that would face the next century was already arriving. Closing reflection. This decade shows that winning independence is only the beginning. The real work is building habits of ordered liberty that can survive disagreement. Stability isn't given to us. It must be guarded by vigilant, self-reliant people who are committed to passing it on to the next generation. The men of the 1790s argued hard. They taxed, protested, compromised, and sometimes overreached. Yet when the votes were counted in 1800, power changed hands without bloodshed. That quiet fact still matters. Their example asks something of us, to value the daily work of keeping a free system alive, not only the dramatic moments of founding it. This has been History in Decades. I'm Jim Rand. See you in the next decade.